Ash Ketchum's journey continues somewhere in the Pokemon world, but what if he one day traveled to the Paldea region? It would be a brand new adventure with many new battles and challenging opponents. Eventually, this would probably lead him to battling Gita. Despite Gita being touted as the worst champion in Pokemon history in both the games and anime, can Ash still beat her? Well, obviously he can, he's the world champion. But we have to make things interesting for the world champion to truly test if he's the best like no one ever was. Hey Pokemon Champions, I'm Champion Blaze and welcome to another Ash Ketchum Best Team video. In these videos we look at the battles that Ash either lost, could have won more easily, or hypothetical battles that he's never actually had. Today we'll assemble his best team for Gita, Paldea's champion. However, this will be by far my most interesting team yet because there are several restrictions I am making to Ash's roster Pokemon this time around. He may have access to all his Pokemon in this team building video since this will be peak Ash strength wise after the Masters 8 tournament, but he'll truly have to prove that he's worthy of keeping that title with the cards he'll have to play with. What do I mean by this? Well, to find out, make sure you subscribe for more videos like this and leave a like if you enjoy. And now, let's dive into Ash's best team for Gita. Gita is Paldea's champion, also known as the region's top trainer. However, despite holding such prestigious titles, she's not really deserving of them in all fairness. Her in-game team is comprised of Avalugg, Gogoat, Espathra, King Gambit, Veluza, and her ace Gligar. Then later on, she'll be seen using Dragapult and Chestnut as well. Majority of fans who played these games state having very minimal difficulty, if any, against Gita's team. In the early days of these games' initial release, people even claimed Gita was a weaker champion than Diantha, which says a lot given the easiness of her respective games of X and Y. Gita even misplays with their team by using Gligar last when it should be first to make use of its ability Toxic Debris, and then she would finish off with King Gambit. And while the anime did a great job at making Diantha look much stronger than her game counterpart, the same sadly can't be said about Gita, as her one and only battle against our main trio results in her losing to Legal's Floragato despite having the advantage for most of the battle. With that said, if Ash is using his strongest Pokemon, of course he'll be able to defeat Gita. But Gita's Pokemon are still decently strong as she is a champion after all. So with that covered, these are the parameters I'll be using to construct Ash's newest best team. No access to ace Pokemon, meaning Ash can't rely on the likes of Pikachu, Charizard, Greninja, or Lucario to win this battle. He cannot use his Masters 8 team. His Masters 8 team is the single strongest team of Pokemon in the entire world, canonically speaking, since that tournament decided who the strongest trainer was. No access to Solgaleo, Naganadel, or Melmetal. Seeing as how one is a legendary, one's an Ultra Beast, and the other is a mythical Pokemon, that would be a bit unfair. All released Pokemon are banned as well. Ash will only have access to the Pokemon currently on hand at Oak's lab or with Professor Kukui and Burnett in Alola. Incineroar and Snorlax are also omitted from this team roster. These two can also be considered ace Pokemon and are incredibly strong in their own right, especially with how often Ash has relied on Snorlax in the past. This knocks out a huge chunk of Ash's available roster and restricts him from using his absolute strongest and best Pokemon, including a lot of his veterans, but I wanted to bring Ash down to a level similar to Gita to make this hypothetical matchup more interesting. But while Gita may be a weak champion, what's not weak is the incredibly strong protection you receive to protect your data and identity by using Aura. They're the sponsor of this video. The Pokemon world is typically seen as a pretty safe, awesome, and magical place. However, our real world isn't like that, and it can be a very scary place, especially with what's possible in our current digital age. Scammers and stalkers can gain access to your phone number, email, and other private information with relative ease, which is scary to think about because it's sold to them by data brokers. What's even worse is that they can do this without your consent. Sure, they'll take down your info if you ask, but they usually make it such a hassle to take down, which is why I'm happy to recommend Aura to you, your friends, and family. Any information that you don't want being shared on the web, they will automatically take down for you. You can choose which pieces of information are accessible and which are not. When I started using Aura, I couldn't believe the results I saw. Certain passwords leaked, pieces of my information being shared without me knowing. They were able to remove lots of my info and tell me what info was leaked all within a few days. And I even used their antivirus tool to make sure my laptop was still safe. And it was. Team Rocket can try as hard as they wish to get your information to make some money, but it turns out that Looker also has eyes and ears with Aura. Aura provides all-in-one digital security, which includes getting alerts about your info on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts when Team Rocket tries to get your credit and banking information so they can make more Master Balls, 24/7 monitoring to keep your identity safe, and even a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and more. All of this protection is also in one handy-dandy app. So each time Team Rocket tries to get your info, you can send them blasting off again and rest assured that you're protected. This will let you train peacefully for your next gym battle. So thanks to Aura, they're letting me give you, my viewers, a free 14-day trial if you use my link of aura.com/championblaze at the top of the description. And 14 days is a good amount of time for Aura to start cleaning up your data so you're better protected. As a Pokemon champion with a busy schedule, I can't let my guard down, and neither should you. Protect yourself and your data with Aura, and you can use my link at the top of the description to get a free 14-day trial to get the strong protection you deserve. Now that we know how strong the team out Aura is, how strong will Ash Ketchum's team be against Gita? Let's find out. Headlining this incredible team is going to be the god himself, Rowlet, making his best team series debut. Rowlet was Ash's final Pokemon that he caught that never evolved, and it proved time and time again that it didn't need to evolve to show off how strong it is. He's a god for a reason. Rowlet is part of one of Ash's absolute strongest teams he's ever trained, and his track record puts this on full display. He was a strong asset when Ash was going up against Totem Gumshoes, aided in his grand trial battle against Kahuna Olivia, had the honor of receiving special training from the Island Guardian of Tapu Bulu, where it learned Razor Leaf as well. It even acted as a big brother to Ash's Meltan, helping to raise and train it. It's able to use the Z moves of Breakneck Blitz and Bloom Doom, and most notably had a fierce rivalry with How's Dartrix and eventual Decidueye. In a classic story of overcoming your evolved form as we've seen before, Rowlet proved that it was strong just the way it was. It may have lost to Dartrix here and there, but when it came to the league, Rowlet mustered up all its strength and fell asleep? Who on the writing staff approved this? I mean, it does fall in line with Rowlet's character and personality, but now was not the time for it. Regardless, it used its training it received from its adoptive family to pull out a win by using Feather Dance and finishing off Decidueye with Brave Bird. Rowlet would then go on to also be a great team player in Ash's full battle against Kukui, taking out his Braviary and going up against his Venusaur. Rowlet is coming packed with Razor Leaf, Seed Bomb, Brave Bird, and Feather Dance, and can use these moves to evade attacks like a ninja and take out Gita's Glamora, Chestnut, and Go-Goat. With this powerful god on Ash's side, he'll have a much easier time defeating Gita's Pokemon. Next up, let's welcome back a veteran from Ash's best team for Kukui, Hawlucha, the Forest Champion. Aside from Greninja, Hawlucha was the one carrying the Kalos team on its back. This boy was an MVP. Anytime Ash needed to clutch a win, he called on Hawlucha because this wrestling bird put in work every time it was on the battlefield, whether it lost or won. Like Rowlet, it may only have stab moves, but in its arsenal is High Jump Kick, Karate Chop, Flying Press, and X-Scissor, which at least provides a bit of coverage. Hawlucha proved why it was such a good brawler in many battles, from being used in Ash's gym battle against Karina in Shalor City, going up against Clement and his electric types in Lumio City, pulling out a crazy win against Valerie by breaking her Trick Room with X-Scissor, and doing that big boy damage to Wolfric's Abomasnow, which says a lot given the tough battle it would later give Ash's Greninja. It even defeated a Mega Absol in the Kalos League and took out Alonzo Weavile. Hawlucha also has an incredible fighting spirit, and that truly gets ignited when it's fighting an opponent that's really putting in effort, and it looks like a badass when it fights with all its might. Hawlucha even took on the role of being a big brother to Ash's Noibat when Ash found its egg in the forest. Hawlucha taught Noibat how to fly more steadily, how to effectively dish out attacks, and gave it major confidence. Hawlucha was a Pokemon who truly made his team better, and with it on this team here, it'll be a big team player against Gita. We have another veteran joining our team, which is Staraptor, Ash's best bird. With a resilient fighting spirit, cool design, multiple gym battles under its belt, and incredible hair, Staraptor packs a solid punch with great speed that we'll need in a battle against a champion. Being Ash's first capture in Sinnoh, Staraptor had an early lead with having the most experience out of Ash's Sinnoh Pokemon. Staraptor showed off its fighting spirit early on in its battle against Ash's Aipom before it was captured. Given this bird's reaction when Ash says he won't be using it in his battle against Roark, it's clear to see that Staraptor has one of the most outgoing fighting spirits of any of Ash's Pokemon. Ash's Staraptor has access to Quick Attack, Aerial Ace, Brave Bird, and Close Combat. These 4 great moves give Staraptor priority in its attacks, allowing it to outspeed most opponents, and we know it's incredibly fast because it's always a surprise when a Pokemon manages to be faster than Ash's Staraptor. Even Brock admits it here.
Weavile's faster than Staraptor?
And given the Pokemon Gita has, the only Pokemon that should even come close to outspeeding Staraptor is her Dragapult. Brave Bird allows Staraptor to take out Go-Goat and Chestnut, and more importantly, Close Combat allows it to take out Avalugg, King Gambit, and Glamora. It's also immune to any Ghost-type attacks from Dragapult. With Ash using Staraptor to help win his battles against Gardenia, against Mayleen's fighting types, against Candace in Snow Point City, using it to help defeat Nando in the Sinnoh League, and going up against Paul's Gastrodon and Drapion, Staraptor has been a trusty Pokemon time and time again for Ash, and it'll be no different here against Gita. And now it's time to introduce another new Pokemon to this team series. Making its best team debut, let's welcome Talonflame, Ash's fiery Kalos bird. Talonflame may not be on the same level as Hawlucha, but it still packs powerful attacks, and for the Pokemon Ash has to defeat here, Talonflame is excellent for the job, and I'm sure you're realizing that every entry here has been part flying type so far. But against Gita, that doesn't really matter because our only counter to flying types is Avalugg with Avalanche with an actual stab bonus, and then Veluza with Ice Fang, Kingambit with Stone Edge, and Glimmora with Rock Terra Blast. So yes, that's 4 Pokemon, but they only have one move each for flying types, and with the experience of all of these Pokemon and the moves and coverage they possess, I believe this entire team will not have to worry about Gita's counters for flying types. But Talonflame makes a spot on this team because it brings the fire typing, which can help Ash turn up the heat against Gita. Its moves are Steel Wing, Brave Bird, Flame Charge, and Razor Wind. This lets Talonflame handle Gita's Avalugg, Kingambit, Go-Goat, Glimmora, and Chestnut. That's almost all of her Pokemon. For a best team debut, that's pretty solid coverage coming from Talonflame. And just like Staraptor, it's got one of the most powerful flying type moves and can keep ramping up its speed each time Flame Charge is used, making Staraptor and Talonflame probably the 2 fastest Pokemon that Gita will have to contend with in this battle. But Talonflame definitely earned a spot here from day one. It put up a very good fight against Ash's Froakie when he tried to capture it, just like Ash's Starlet did against his Apom. Talonflame helped in a big way against Viola's bug types. He used it against Grant's rock types despite the type disadvantage, proved its might against Karina's fighting types, took down Ramos's grass type, making it the 4th consecutive gym battle it was a part of. It may have missed out on the Lumiose gym battle, but then it came back stronger than before in the rest of Ash's gym battles in order to stop Valerie's fairy type trickery, teamed up with Frogadier to take down Olympia, and was a strong asset in battling Wolfric. That's an amazing track record for this Pokemon being used in all his Kalos gym battles except one. And then it even put in work in the Kalos League by defeating Sawyer Slacking and tying with Alonzon Pheasant. And let's not forget that even though this moment was brief, Talonflame was boxing with the legendary bird of fire, Moltres. It outsped Moltres' flamethrower attack and saved everyone from the attack by blocking it as it evolved into a phoenix itself, Talonflame. It then proceeded to learn Brave Bird and land the attack on Moltres. What a way to evolve and get stronger. So Talonflame for sure deserves a spot on this team. In the penultimate spot, we've got another Pokemon making its debut to the best team series. One of 2 dragons Ash got in Kalos, and it's Noivern. We're going to put respect on his name today. Noivern has been called a jobber, been told it didn't really do much in Ash's Kalos journey, that it's the weakest Pokemon on his Kalos team, but let me show you why Noivern deserves to be on this team. Firstly, Noivern was in the same situation as Ash's Gligar, where it was timid, shy, and needed help with daily training from the other members of its team. And it was quite literally a baby since Ash found it as an egg. But once it evolved, all the power, speed, and strength came rolling in. I will acknowledge it losing to Alon's Weavile in the Kalos League, but it's also an ice type and I'm not sure what Ash was thinking. I mainly want to focus on its battle against Sawyer's Salamence in the Kalos League semi-finals because Noivern gave it its all in that battle. Despite the result being a draw, Noivern showed it can stack up to a pseudo-legendary Pokemon. It was dodging Incinerate attacks, it used Supersonic to locate Salamence, it had evasive maneuvers and great aerial tactics with acrobatics, and could go head-on with Dragon Claw and deal great damage with Boom Burst. And let's also not forget that Noivern evolved in a similar manner to Talonflame. Hawlucha is falling to the ground in a storm after being struck by Zapdos' Thunderbolt, and in order to save his big brother, Noivern evolves and gains the speed necessary to save Hawlucha. It then proceeds to square up against Zapdos and use the stone pillars to its advantage, and then lands a powerful blow against Zapdos with Boom Burst, which was enough to finish the battle. Noivern may not have the greatest track record, but its moves and strength allow it to box with Go-Goat, Chestnut, and Dragapult. I think Noivern could definitely put in the work to defeat these Pokemon on Gita's team. And finally, let's bring back another veteran to this series who's been here since day one, and that is Gliscor, my goat, my boy, a true MVP. What can I say about Gliscor that I haven't said 100 times before? It's just an amazing Pokemon. Its moveset is stacked with X-Scissor, Stone Edge, Giga Impact, and Fire Fang. This allows it to take care of Gita's Avalugg, Go-Goat, Espathra, Kingambit, Chestnut, and if Ash ever taught it Steel Wing again, it could do even more damage to Glimmora. Every time this Pokemon joins the best team, it always, at minimum, takes care of half of the opponent's team. Gliscor may have started out as a timid and shy Gligar who could barely win any battles, but it soon became a menacingly powerful Gliscor that was ready for any battle. It was a big reason Ash got his 6th gym badge in Canalave City against Byron, and mind you, that was Gliscor's gym battle debut. It mastered the strongest normal type move like Paul's Electivire, but thanks to its training with the Air Battle Master, it's able to use Wind Currents to its advantage and rebound after using the attack, so it's not a sitting duck after using the attack. Its coverage is amazing and lets it deal with various opponents, and it was the only Pokemon on Ash's team that could defeat Paul's broken Drapion, finally bringing it down with Fire Fang. Its fighting spirit is incredible, and it's always ready for any battle. With Gliscor on the team, Ash can surely defeat the Paldean Champion. So if Ash had a battle against Gita, his best team would be comprised of Rowlet, Staraptor, Gligar, Talonflame, Hawlucha, and Noivern. We have several veterans here and several making their best team series debut. This may be a team of all flying type Pokemon, but they each bring lots of coverage, strength, and power that would be sure to take down Gita. And again, a big thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video, and be sure to use my link aura.com/championblaze at the top of the description to get your free 14-day trial and protect your data with the strength of a Pokemon champion. Thank you for watching, and thanks to our channel members for their extra support. For more best teams, click the videos on screen. Until next time, train hard, and I'll catch you guys later.